Y'all was good once again from the Ashes We Rise, Black Phoenix Podcast, MCTR kicking it with y'all again. Show me grace on my voice tonight. Your boy is just getting his voice back. But TR, you have the floor. As we all know, you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. We played today. Go
Hey,
ahead, get your shots in, TR.
hey, I've been telling y'all for a while about Baker and
This
hey,
guy.
fly Eagles fly.
What is your smoke for Baker? See, you blame Baker for everything. Seriously, what's your smoke?
Look, just like we had in the side conversation, like Baker does a lot of things that get the team in trouble. And I understand, like, and when you look at his numbers, he actually had a pretty good field day. Like, I don't think anybody on the Eagles going to get fired for this, but that defense is starting to look a little suspect. They did everything they could to give that game away, so I'm quite surprised. Baker had more than enough opportunity to win this game, and a few times his kicker bailed him out. I forget where that guy's name is, but yeah, it was a good game, and the Eagles they got some work to do. They got some work to do on the defensive side. Like you lost to OC, and there's some. I mean, not the defensive side. Kind of on both. Like the defense held up as much as they can, but you're going to be on the field for so long before things start you start getting those blown coverages, and then you just let everybody just run the ball on you. Like we can't be having that. So Jalen's got to do a little bit better. But I mean, for me, MC, I can be honest. I can be critical about my team. I think you have a little blind spot for Baker.
Look, man, I'm gonna say this again. First of all, before Baker, we had Jameis, right? Jameis threw 30
Oh
interceptions.
man,
Baker threw 17 last year. That's still somewhat high. I give you that. But what you're not realizing, and this is for everybody who got smoked for Baker, this was his first turnover. His first turnover, his first interception came today. He's been playing better every single year since he's come to Tampa.
oh word.
Now, word, way better. Now, we just got Tristan Wirfs back. We still down two offensive linemen. We're still down two of our corners. Mike Evans is still out. Look, the first half was terrible. Absolutely garbage.
You
I
doing
got
a
off to
lot
a
of
good
explaining
start.
for Baker.
Hey, I'm explaining for my team. I'm telling you, we ain't at full health yet, but we're gonna get there and we're gonna run it back in the playoffs. That's all I'm trying to say right
Yeah, well, it's going to be a fun pathway to the playoffs, though. But yeah, I guess we'll see. But I'm just telling you right now, I'm not impressed with the Eagles how they've been playing, mainly with Jalen Hurts. This, picking and choosing when he wants to throw the ball to AJ Brown. AJ Brown is your best receiver, and you got Saquon Barkley. And I said this, in our other chat, but I'm going to say it again. I think there's an issue when people start to outshine Jalen, he started acting a little funny with the football. So we saw it with AJ Brown, and we're seeing it with Saquon. And so, hot take, but there's something off about that relationship with AJ and Jalen and Saquon. It's weird that you know what, the Giants wouldn't even do this to Saquon's. And so it's like, why is he not getting ample opportunity? I know he's getting wrapped up in everything, but he's trying to break tackles. So I don't understand why they're being a little conservative with Jalen. Like, no, you got 2 more years with Jalen before he hits that running back wall. So win now and do not worry about it. He signed the contract, he's getting paid, he knows what he's signing up for. Is to win now,
now. Hey, it could be
even if we won
worse. You
last
could be a
year.
Baltimore Ravens fan because they were picked to make the Super Bowl and they are tanking something terrible right now.
Man, Lamar Jackson doing his best, doing his worst job trying to end my fantasy, my fantasy game. So he didn't help me one bit. But Josh Jacobs is picking out the slack.
Yeah, sorry, Ravens fans. Hope he gets better.
Probably not. But but anyway, let's get to the show. Let's start with something a little bit more easy going. Let's talk about our haters.
Yeah, if I may, look. Every time politics comes up, right? Obviously, I'm somewhat conservative. Tr, you feel free to identify yourself how you feel, but I left the Dems in 2010 because it was whole lot of goofy stuff, right? So every time I speak from a political standpoint, I'm more experienced on how things work on the left because that's how I was raised. That's where I came from. But check this out. Y'all have dropped the ball on yourselves. And it's not hard to make fun of y'all. It's really not because y'all have hurt yourselves so many times that you make it easier for the other side to do what they do, right?
Yeah.
Check this out to you. I'm gonna read some names off to you. You tell me what these names have in common. Toasty Gabbard, Lindy Lee, RFK, Kristen Cinema, Robin Webb, Karine Jean Pierre, Hillary Castle, Joe Rogan, Donald Trump.
Yeah, they've all
These
left the
are
Democratic Party.
They all left the Democratic Party. Y'all push out people that don't y'all used to be more conservative. Let's be real. We talked
Yeah,
about Blue Dog
they were the
Democrats
ones
before.
they deported the most people.
Yeah, yeah. So y'all push y'all at first I thought it was just the men they were getting up out of there. They pushing women out of here too. Kristen
Yeah.
Cinema, by the way, is a part of the alphabet community. And even she's had enough of y'all. So what are we doing right now? Like y'all
Oh,
sitting
the
here
Biggest
criticizing.
Loser chick, she was well, I don't know what her ideologies were. I'm blanking on her name. The chick from Biggest Loser, the trainer, Jillian Mike.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh, she's been wild with it lately,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we have to talk about her a different day. But yeah, I forgot she used to lean left. She sure
yeah.
did. Yeah, so I say all this to say all the things that y'all dealing right now is self-sustained wounds. You have
Mhm.
isolated everybody who's not in the alphabet community and who is not pro baby deletion. Those are the two biggest things that y'all stood on. And it's been proven time and time again that people are not as passionate about those things as you thought they were. Y'all are to go along, get along, business as usual, folks, and you're not reading the room well. We have proven on this podcast time and time again that you're losing support among men, you're losing support among black men, and lately, I'm starting to see more and more conservative women emerge and talk their stuff. Like there's tons of them. And I'm telling you, they all got thick skin because y'all been calling them coons and Uncle Toms and go get your butter biscuits. The truth of the matter is, TR, I don't want nobody's biscuits. I want to build my own. I want to build my own
First
bakery.
of all, pause.
I want to do for myself. I don't care who likes me or who don't like me. So this is funny to me. But I think for y'all that are getting emotionally attached to these people on the left, particularly Kamala Harris,
Hmm.
she was clearly baby while she was running. She refuses. She had the same opportunity to sit
And
down on
see,
these podcasts. What's up?
you being way too nice about this shit. Look, these people that you're trying to be nice to, they don't care. Look, another Sambo podcast. This you playing hide and seek with the comments. I was like, hey, actually, what did I say? I said we only had comments of bots or grown men crying. You must have done one of those. Definitely, he did one of those.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fact that, and then there's this one, get your butter biscuits. We know who made threats. Again, this was a conversation about Charlie Kirk getting deleted. And these idiots thinking that this guy is on the MAGA side. This guy on the MAGA side. How many times do we know? I mean, we know plenty of people that have left that don't align with their parents. They do the opposite of their parents. And this guy was this guy was a damn furry. He was with a training dude. So this is how these people are aligning themselves with these sensitive Kamala Harris following. She ain't got no black husband. She ain't got no black kids. And these are the people that who are following Kamala Harris. I can't stand these motherfuckers. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm glad we're having this conversation though, because most of y'all are fucking a bunch of bitches. That's what y'all are. Y'all just a bitch ass, hoe ass motherfuckers. You ain't got no girlfriend. You ain't got no wife. These are the things that this is why you can't move ahead in life because you got to stroll to the fucking polls. You follow these bitches to these fucking. They told you to fucking listen to Kamala Harris. They told you to do everything what Kamala Harris did, and then all of a sudden, well, we didn't win, so we can't do anything else. No, you don't want to stand on your own. This is the problem with in the men in the last several years. You're acting out. You only get mad at us because we told you about yourselves, or you don't like things that we've said. Like, come on, this is some bitch ass shit. This is 100% some bitch ass shit, and you got too many men out here crying about this shit. Just crying in the comments, crying on social media. going to the shade room and crying there because they only do this shit because they think they're gonna get some action from women, and they won't. The women don't want y'all. They want you for like food meals. They want you to spend money on them. You're not wifing any of these women up. The numbers show you guys are not getting married. You like some fucking reverse incels or some shit. Like you're watching other people live their life, and then you guys are upset because they said something that you don't like. And then the black man read it. Holy shit. You motherfuckers, you definitely need some goddamn help. I don't usually say this a lot because I don't believe in therapists, but you niggas need therapists. You fucking straight up need fucking therapists. That's my point of view.
Well, so much to be in the family show tonight. But
Yeah.
here's my thing, man. I don't deal with emotional men very well. And if you are not a man who can listen to the other side, because my thing is always, I can deal with your disagreements, but when you start throwing these insults out, it's like, all right, now you
Yeah, you can't work with them. You can't listen
yeah,
to them.
you're not
You
listening.
don't like something. Okay,
You're
tell us
not
why you don't
at
like
all.
it.
Yeah,
But
prove me wrong.
yeah.
Prove me wrong. Because we literally, when Kamala Harris dropped her plan for black men, TR, we literally went through that plan line by line and broke it down. How about you do something like that?
It's a bad deal. It's a bad deal for Black Americans.
Halfway through the plan, she shifted away from black men to change the
Yeah.
language to people of color.
Yeah, she
Like,
changed
how
it
many
to people
times
of
are y'all
color.
gonna fall for this?
Yeah. And
Goodness.
I dropped this in our other chat where we are seeing Mayor Adams, and Mayor Adams was not a good mayor. Like he was walling out too. But when he saw that the writing was on the wall, that motherfucker got in line. I'm sorry. If you got a president that is a man of action, you got to get in line. I don't understand what you guys are doing. Biden's not in the office anymore. You have to be able to work with the president in the best interests of your city and your state. This isn't about like just fight the president because we're seeing that happen in Chicago. They think they're above. Not above. Well, I don't know if they've broken any laws. Well, the Brandon Johnson. I don't know if he's broken any laws, but we've seen them like just have constantly criminal, not criminal, but they have a ton of shootings. They have a lot of crime going on in Chicago. That's okay to y'all? These are black kids being murdered. I'm going to strike that, but being deleted, and you guys are okay with that. You got more smoke for us. You got more smoke for black conservatives. You got more smoke for Trump. We can't do anything in your life. I mean, you might be mad at Trump or whatever because he's changing some things, and maybe you worked for the government because you guys all got fired because you had a job that you weren't needed for. But everybody else, we're not affecting your lives. So why are you mad at us? We can't do anything to y'all. You guys just want to drop the comments. You want to say these things, and you guys are more mad at us because we're not blind. We haven't drank the Kool-Aid. Like you can do your own stuff, but you cannot acknowledge. I mean, you guys refuse to acknowledge Kamala Harris was a terrible candidate. If she was such a great candidate, then why is she like doing a book tour? Why is she's supposed to be the face of the party now?
Oh,
Why is
speaking
she
of
doing
that
a
book tour, TR, by the way, she is backtracking everything that she said. She
Yep.
keeps switching positions.
Throwing everybody under the bus.
Everybody under the bus.
Yep.
To the point where now there's even more Democratic donors coming out right now that are talking about how full of it she is.
Yep. So,
but you know what? Just be happy in your delusion. Let me make one more. I'm gonna make two more points.
I mean, I was making my point, but whatever. You go.
Oh, you know what? Go ahead. Land your point.
this dude, motherfucker. Anyways, the whole point in all of this, and you men, you're gonna have to like buck the fuck up because when Trump is out of the office, I don't believe that there's going to be another Democrat that's going to get into the office. You motherfuckers should be making a lot of money. Your 401k should be popping. You should probably be in crypto. This isn't investment advice, but there's a lot of things that are, helping you propel forward. The majority of the people that are upset about the student loans are the people that are really mainly women. And so they took out these crazy student loans. So what? Trump's supposed to save those people? When did we start doing stuff like that? When did that become like people that didn't go to college or people that didn't graduate? They got to start paying for the degrees or the student loans of people that took out these loans at these these fucking publicly funded schools. When did we have to start being the ones that have to take care of them? Where do they do that at? I don't understand why this generation got so goddamn soft. You listen to a bunch of women that tell you how to run your household. You listen to men, Barack Obama, telling you that you're lucky that, and I'll never forget this, but you're lucky that Michelle's not here. When did somebody's wife become bigger than your household? I don't understand why men act like this. I really don't. I mean, women, yeah, they're emotional. That's fine. But the men, you guys are some wimps. You guys are some goddamn simps, you son husbands. It's everything. I understand why women pick bears. I get it now. Because if they have to choose between you leading them and picking a goddamn bear, they're going to pick the fucking bear because you motherfuckers are weak. You strolled to the polls. You did that. Cucks for Kamala, black women for Kamala, black cuck men for Kamala. You did all this shit, and she's not married to a black man, and she ain't got no black kids. This is why I don't understand. I don't get this. But it is what it is, though. I better cut my rant short because we're not monetized, but this video definitely won't be monetized when we do.
I'm gonna just end it on this. How bad do y'all want this to get when you disrespect people that disagree with you or try to silence them? Which, by the way, we now know that Facebook and Google have both admitted that they have censored people with conservative ideas.
Oh,
they basically confirmed it, right?
I wish we got a chance to talk about that stuff. That was a big deal.
It was, but here's some other things to consider, TR. So just today, 2 dead, 8 wounded in a church shooting and fire in Michigan. Just recently, Ice Cube's tour bus was firebombed, suspected to be linked to people associated with Antifa, not confirmed yet.
Yep.
We had ICE employees that were stalked and doxxed. 8 women were arrested for following and filming the personal addresses and families of ICE employees and posting online. We talked about Charlie Kirk. We talked about January 6th. We talked about the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping.
January 6th, it's been proven that they sent about 250 feds in that crowd.
Well, right, but my point is, I'm just saying
that's something that we didn't get a chance to talk about. Another right-wing conspiracy proven true again.
So my point is, we're creating all this civil unrest and frustration because people aren't listening. They're not freely exchanging ideas, right? This is what happens when that continues to happen. When you keep silencing people and insulting people and telling them to shut up, you create a society where this is going to become a constantly occurring thing. What you're also doing is you're creating a society where people are going to say one thing and vote a completely different way privately. Yep. So how do you want it to be?
We saw that happen.
How do you want it to be?
Yep. And just to go back to that Google thing, I mean, we already knew they did this. Mark Zuckerberg admitted to doing it on Capitol Hill, and then also Elon exposed Twitter with the Twitter files. So with the Hunter Biden laptop. So they did a lot of fuck shit that you guys would never let anybody else get away with. That's why that's the mind-blowing thing. And for me to think that this next generation man coming up, nope. The best thing you can do is find a tribe and build that tribe. That's it. The people that want to rock with you, they're going to rock with you. A lot of times the people that look like you are not going to be the people that are going to rock with you because they're all drinking the Kool-Aid. They're all drinking, Democrats bad, Donald Trump bad, Republicans bad, conservatives bad. This would have been the best opportunity for people that do not rock with any of those parties and create your own party. But it doesn't matter now because you don't need the black vote. This was proven. Trump proved it. You don't need the black vote to win.
And it proves my theory too. We are nothing but a political booty call. The Dems go out to the club with the LGBT, and they go out with the Mexican folks. They go hang out with them at the club, and then they call us once every 4 years, like, "Hey, you up?"
Yeah,
because they ain't making no progress.
They need you to get in line. Hey, I need my rent paid.
You are the political booty call. The political power that we did have is declining and it's fading, and we did absolutely nothing for it but put somebody in office that gave us change and hope that we can believe in.
Yeah. So, and this is just a warning. Some of y'all, you get messy in the comments. You're probably gonna get hidden. Like that one guy, they're playing with the comments. I don't give a shit. This is our channel. We can say, and I mean, within, we don't want to piss off YouTube, even though they were banning people for telling the truth. There's some lines that we don't want to cross, though. But at the end of the day, you get messy in the comments, you're either going to get banned, shadow banned from the channel, or your comments going to get deleted. I mean, we can do whatever. We don't do that. Oh, we want to be able to say whatever we want. Nah, there's plenty of other channels on there. Take your ass to IG and play in the shade room and watch what happens.
And the last thing I'm going to say is, contrary to popular belief, I don't think a political party will save us. You need to save yourself.
Yeah.
Save yourself. Go out there and get it and save yourself.
Yep. And expect more from your elected officials instead of people just saying shit just for clicks and engagement. So, but all right. Now that we got that off our chest.
Oh, yeah. Y'all still hilarious, though.
Let's do some fuck shit. Oh, I meant to have this scroll. There we go. All right. Modern women say women in their 20s shouldn't get married. Interesting take. Let me pull up the clip here.
Men don't gain respect for you.
Oh yeah, this is everybody's favorite side piece, Joy. Let's see. Let me get this queued up here. Isn't it funny how Joy Taylor we knew about the lawsuit that said that she was going to Me Too somebody if she doesn't get her way. Allegedly, she slept her way to the top. And then also the guy that was her boss, he got fired. And then Joy Taylor, along with a bunch of other staff members. See, this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when these big names get fired, it's not just them getting fired. Their whole staff is getting fired. So if you want to play around at your job and you want to like just be able to like, sleep your way to the top, or you want to start asking for favors, this is what's going to happen to you on the way up, though, because there's going to be a whole list of bodies that are going to come back to haunt you. And everybody, for some reason, don't think that's an issue. But, it's Joy Taylor because she's good looking.
Yep.
All right, let me get this shared. Sorry, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like 6th grade.
Yeah.
Like 6th grade.
No.
If a boy talked to me in 6th grade, I was like, oh, what? And then everybody changes, everyone goes on their own, goes at their own pace.
Yeah.
But it's such a different world.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that, and I did a whole YouTube video about like things I would tell myself in my 20s. And when girls who are in their 20s, like are on my live, I say, go watch that video. And one of the main things I say, your 20s are not for long-term relationships. They're not for kids. They're for self-development, fun, twerking in Miami, figuring out what you want to do with your life, crying and laughing.
But you niggas is mad at us. You're the ones worried about what we're saying. All right, I got y'all.
And hanging out and developing community and moving to somewhere else that you didn't grow up. It's not for giving birth. It's not for finding a husband. You do that when you're 30 in your 30s.
And that is why white women continue to be in the marriage game a little bit earlier and longer than black women, even though they're still getting the divorce rate is around the same, but they are getting married a little bit more in college than they are outside of college. But she didn't give you that fact. She didn't tell you that data.
But if you want
go ahead.
to, you don't have to, okay? But your 20s are for that self-exploration. And I think the shift is just women realizing, oh, I don't have to do what society has told me that I have to do. I'm starting to make my own decisions, and that shift in age just kind of shows that. And I get excited when I see stats like that.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was a great.
Jeez, I think that was the end of the MC, was it?
Yeah, it was.
All right.
I saw this.
That's terrible. That's bad. That's poor advice.
It is, but you know how society works, TR. You see two women like that. They're attractive. Somebody's going to give them the attention that they want. Somebody's going to give them.
I don't know who the other woman is. Who's the other woman?
Apparently, she's a comedian and she also has her own podcast. I wasn't familiar with her until
Yeah.
this came up. But here's what I'll say as the married man on the show. Any woman, and I'm talking to the men who are seeking marriage in the traditional sense. Any woman who has this type of ideology, just know that she's basically telling you that you don't deserve the best version of myself.
Yeah.
If she wants to have fun and play the field and ride the carousel in her 20s, that's your peak time where you're at your highest physical health. Your knees ain't bad. You got the most energy, and quite frankly, you're at your most beautiful. Beauty declines as you age. That's just the way of the world, right?
Yeah.
She's basically telling you that you will always be secondary to whatever she got going on in her life, and you need to pay attention to that.
That's true.
Now, the younger version of me would have gotten angry at something like this, but the current version of me is grateful that these women are showing you who they are, because it makes it easier for you as a man to make a decision on if you want to proceed or not. If you move forward with a woman who thinks like this, you should know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So by default, if something goes wrong, it's your fault because you had the information you needed.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of men, women are already doing this. Just FYI, they're being instructed. Now it's being reinforced that they need to continue doing this. And they try to dress it up with like self-exploration, figure out who you are. And to some degree, I get that. But it's not to like, end up in a clinic and, having the vacuum multiple times. It's not to get an incurable disease. It's not to live in if you live in Houston or Atlanta or even DC, where they have extremely high infection rates. I can't say the other one because then they'll do something funny about the stream. But it's not to do any of those things. Like, could you imagine your date? I mean, MC, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man, you are, I won't say lucky because you put in the work and you built your house, your marriage, and no one can be like, I'm sure there's been some tough things, but you've never you created a situation and you cultivated that situation. It's a rose now, or it's whatever you want to call it. But for a lot of these people that are not married and they're listening to this stuff, marriage is hard work, and marriage is going to have some lows. It's going to have some highs. I'm not married. I've never been married, but I've know more successfully married people than I do not married people. And I have some friends that are getting remarried, friends that have divorced as well too. Sometimes they're the same people. But the problem with a lot of people thinking that marriage is not a good option, marriage is, you can't go into marriage thinking that, you can't get into this relationship game just thinking that you can just run the count up, run up your bodies, and then you're going to get married. That's not how that shit works. You can't have 30 bodies and then you're ready to settle down. Women don't operate like that, and men to some degree, sometimes you can get away with that, but it's usually women that have the most trouble having so many bodies and then being able to be a free spirit, and then they want to settle down, and then it's like, oh, hey, doc, I can't have kids? I'm only in my 30s. Yeah, that's when you're on the tail end of not being able to have, a successful pregnancy. And we all know people that have had pregnancies in their 30s, but we also know that they've had complications as well too. I know somebody that, they had to go to a clinic because they couldn't find the guy that they wanted, but they want to have a kid that bad. This is crazy shit that they tell women what to do. And the best time for you to be to have kids, it's going to be in your 20s. When did that become a thing? When you're in your 20s, you don't want to have kids. This only became a thing because women wanted to work, and because they wanted to work, they want to give up their they didn't want to have kids. They didn't want to give up their womb so they can continue climbing the corporate ladder so they can be the CEO of fucking Nabisco. Women think that they're gonna lose a part of their life, and that's not it. If anything, your life might be starting because you got married and you had kids. People nowadays, I gotta say this, MC, in the next 20, 30 years, marriage is going to be a very elusive club. Marriage is going to be only for a small, very small percentage of people, because the one thing is men are getting smart about their marriages. Men are, getting what do you call those agreements? Those
Prenuptials.
prenuptial agreements. And then some of the states, they're starting to move in the right direction where they're protecting both parties, but it's really protecting the man though, because usually the man gets screwed over. Some states are doing automatic paternity tests, and some states are limiting the amount of alimony you can receive, or any at all, or they put a cap on it. Not California, obviously. But I mean, people are starting to realize, and the more women put their information out there, give out this bad advice, the more men that wake up. So if you think that this is good advice, then I got a bridge in Baltimore to sell you.
I mean, this is exactly why people like Coach Greg Adams are absolutely right in a lot
Yeah,
of different
shout out
ways.
CGA.
CGA deals with I deal with how stuff should be. CGA deals with how stuff is, like right now in front of your face,
Yeah.
right? But you said something earlier, TR, that we kind of need to expand on a little bit more. And you didn't say it in these words, but I'll use these words: geriatric pregnancy.
Oh yeah, my bad.
So
Yeah,
all of these women who want to delay all of this stuff until your 30s, look, that's your choice. But you need to understand, because they don't tell you the other side of this stuff. Now, neither
Nope.
one of us are doctors, so everything I'm about to read right now, I've either pulled from the Cleveland Health Clinic or Healthline.com. But there are risks to both the mother and the baby when you wait to geriatric pregnancy, which, depending on which site, it starts anywhere from the age 34 to 36.
right.
As the mother has increased risk of diabetes, increased risk of high blood pressure, a bigger need for a C-section. More people in geriatric pregnancy need C-sections. And then there's mortality factors to be considered as well.
Yep.
In some instances, some of these mothers don't make it. And now you're putting your baby at risk. There's increased risk for birth defects, low birth rates, preterm births, miscarriages or stillbirths, and chromosomal abnormalities, excuse me. These are all things that can be impacted if you just go out there and talk to the right people and know this information from more qualified folks. But I have a question for both of those ladies. You said you didn't know who you were until you were in your 20s. I would argue that's a failure on your parents' part.
Yeah.
You should know who you are well before you become an adult and what you want to do.
And you're in college too. It's like, I'm tired of people thinking if you're in college, you don't have a good understanding of who you're going to be, or how you I mean, what I've been seeing is that a lot of these college kids, they sure know how to be themselves when it's time to protest, free Palestine. You guys know how to show up for these, Charlie Kirk when he was doing those events, how to like boycott or protest against Trump. But all of a sudden, you know how to do a relationship, maintain a relationship, or get into a relationship. Come on.
And another thing, this is another reason why I can't submit to a woman's leadership.
Yeah.
I can't, because they tend to focus on things that are, and women have strengths that we don't have, but leadership ain't one of them. Like everything that there was nothing logical about what she said.
Yeah.
Everything that she said, we never show the other side of these conversations where we have clips and clips of women crashing out because they regret the choices that they made and they wish that they would have took it more seriously.
Yeah.
And found a man.
Kids gotta suffer.
You mentioned the white women, TR. I know a bunch of white men who will tell you, hey, this is happening over here right now too. Things are changing over here too. This isn't just a black issue no more. This is a Western issue.
Yeah. No, I'm saying that, and they're still getting divorced. I'm saying when it comes to marriages, white women tend to get in that marriage earlier in their 20s, while black women later in their 30s. But it still gets the same. It still ends the same way, divorce. So
yeah. And you talked about the marriage is going to be an exclusive club. There are studies that, at least in the black community, it's going to drop to as low as 13% within the next 10 years. Like there's going to be some major problems here. And for all of y'all that think that there's not going to be any effects to you in situations like this, look at Japan right now. Like they're literally begging people to reproduce and form families because it's affecting their GDP, and it's therefore affecting their economy. And there's a lot of women who can't take care of themselves, so now they're resorting to living in all female apartment communities to kind of self-sustain and raise each other's
golden
kids.
girls.
Like I'm telling you what I know, man. Like this is out of order. We need to get back to the way things should be. But if this is the choice that you make, at least be honest about it so that the men know who they're dealing with when they're out here trying to pursue.
Well, and this is the thing. This is more of a conversation for the men to wake up and realize, look, nobody's saying you shouldn't get married. I want people to get married. I want to be married, but you got to know what comes with it. You have to know that this woman, if you're in your 20s, she's not going to be the same person. You won't be the same person 20 years later. And you got to be able to work through that and, grow through that, because a lot of times people don't make it. Things change, or infidelity happens, or even with ideologies, political ideologies. I'm going to tell you guys right now, do not get with a woman who has a different political ideology than you do. And do not follow a woman because of her political ideologies. Like, that is always going to blow up in your face. There's a reason why a lot of people put on their profiles, I don't want to date any Trump supporters. Like, you never see anyone say, I don't want to date any liberals. It's like, I don't want to date anyone that, voted for Trump, or anyone that's like a CVID, or actually a Corona person who took the vax or whatever. Like, they put all that dumb weirdo shit, and that's the person that you want to build a family with. That's the person you're supposed to like raise kids with. What do you think is going to happen to that mom, as they get older, or that woman as she gets older with the kids? Like, they're going to start doing some of their old shit that you overlooked. And for men, men just aren't leaders nowadays. I'm not confident that men are going to be able to like vet the right woman and then also lead the household. Because at some point, the numbers show us that when it came to voting, and especially in the Black community, a lot of men still followed women to the polls and voted for Kamala Harris. I was expecting numbers like the Latino men, their numbers, because their numbers were, I think they were in line. Wait, were they in line? I can't remember. But anyway,
they were definitely more in line than we were. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So whatever it is, I'm fact checking me or whatever. But anyways, but they were like, no, we ain't doing any of that stuff. We ain't about to, listen to Kamala, because we know she's lying. It's not the best thing for our families and also America. And then the Democrats, they tried to tell women to vote against your family if it wasn't in line for them. So you have enough evidence to know that, first of all, we're not your enemies. And then second of all, you men got to start moving a little bit different. And for the women out there that, the 2-3% women that listen to us, we're showing the content. We're showing the context. We're showing that these are women that are out here either making y'all look great or making y'all look bad. And there really aren't a lot of women that make women look great when they're talking about relationships. They're telling women, you got to do this. They're pretty much telling you how to be alone. They're not telling you how to, grow a relationship. That's why we don't see a lot of content creators out there talking about marriage, because y'all want to be lied to. That's why Derek Jackson was so popular. That's why he made so much money, and he was cheating on his woman. If anything, a lot of you women are going to have to be in these poly relationships. That's what's really going to happen, because there's not going to be enough men that you like and men that can actually take care of you. That man he's going to know, he's going to understand, like, look, I don't have to sign up for this. The lower tier men got to sign up for all that crap. I don't have to do any of that. You're going to have to like share me, and you're going to probably get 2 days out of the week, if that, 2 days out of every other week in order to be with someone like me. So y'all going to have to make some changes, and you're going to have to like, have a real discussion though. But trying to change these people, it's like talking to a brick wall. It's like talking to those men that were hating on us in our on our previous video, just because we were telling them we had a different opinion than what they had, and their simp programming couldn't handle it.
Look, I believe Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, who was supposed to be the pro-woman therapist, just a couple of weeks ago, TR made a statement about dating a woman with kids is like being in a poly relationship.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're dating somebody,
know a lot of men do it.
If you're dating somebody with kids and the dude is still around, right? In a way, he kind of affects when y'all can date and when y'all can go out. Because what if you don't want to take the kids on a night y'all supposed to have a date?
Yep.
What if he's not paying his child support, or he's hitting her up and freaking her out and pissing her off and affecting her mood when it's y'all time together? Like, you got to think about stuff like this, man. And a lot of people don't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, if you want to be a stepfather, stepmother, I mean, usually it's the father that's the stepfather. I rarely see women. I mean, Kamala Harris, but that chick was a teenager. But I mean, the first black family or the second black family, Kamala Harris and Pimp Hand Doug, they really showed y'all how to have a relationship. Honestly, I think they're. I mean, I don't want to put this out there, but they're probably gonna get a divorce. They're doing some weird shit too, that people don't want to have that conversation about. But at the end of the day, like I said, trying to explain this stuff to people, it's like you're telling people how to get money and they still don't want to listen. So there's no point even like trying to explain that to them. Just focus on the people that do want to listen, that do want to move ahead, and that they have a good character. And those are the people that you can really save. It's really like kind of what like Charlie Kirk was, the conversations he had at the turning point. And I feel like there were a lot of I mean, there were a lot of things that Charlie preached at those turning point conventions. I had like some criticism for him only in the sense of, he didn't really talk about the negative things that could happen in a marriage. Like, the woman, like I said, a woman is different 20 years later. How do you work through that? How do you find your way back to each other? And then also your kids growing up, or even divorce. Divorce is rampant. Divorce has been increasing. I know people are still getting married, but people are still getting divorced too. So those are the conversations that I don't think Charlie Kirk had. And, I don't know what the direction Turning Point is going to do now, but maybe they will start having some hard conversation when you lose a spouse or something. So yeah, that's the thing that people need to, start listening to, and men need to start focusing on, like, your purpose, and then following the Bible, and then also just have a good understanding of like what's going on out there. Don't be blind. Don't just get hit by a truck. Like, you got to see how these divorces are playing out. Well, that's a celebrity divorce. Well, it starts out as celebrity divorce, and then it becomes your problem because there's precedent to have these types of divorce settlements, or why people exit their relationships. They just said, he was abusive. And it's like, oh, okay, then we're going to stop talking about it. Never mind the fact that that woman may have been abusive too, or did some fuck shit. And we've been hearing about women doing fuck shit. We just don't say anything.
Yeah, and not only that, but DV. A lot of women.
Oh yeah,
do a lot of DV things, but people don't take it seriously because it's a man that it happened to.
Yeah.
Or we have too much pride to report it. But I'll just end on this note. Well, a couple things. Number one, TR, you're absolutely right. When we talk about marriage, we only show the beauty of it. I call it the Disney fantasy, right? They sell these happily ever after, everybody's in love and everybody likes each other all the time type of stories, and that's not what this is, man. There's going to be some
not even close.
You should have way more great days than bad ones. Don't get me wrong, and you definitely should be arguing less than y'all did when y'all first got together if you're truly
MAGA hate.
But this is outside of that. We out here selling fantasies and unrealistic expectations. But all of that being said, if you find you a real one, fellas, hold her tight, man, because it ain't too many of them out there.
Yeah, facts. All right. We are going to jump to Nick Cannon, of all people, too. This is actually a hell of a segue. So let me get this queued up, though, because Nick says he has 12 kids was a trauma response, which I'm going to be a little curious to hear about this. Let's see. All right. Okay.
Nick Cannon regrets having 12 kids. At least that's what it sounds like. Let's check it out.
I think having all those kids was a response to your trauma.
Yeah, 100. Now I'm learning that now. Yeah, and it wasn't like
Also,
I was acting
shout
out.
out.
It was more of being.
Shout out to Shisha. I can't pronounce it. Something Zed. But this is a good dude. He has some good content.
Careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move. And, okay, they coming at me, they asking me, opposed to like doing a mature thing and saying, hey, well, it probably makes more sense to do this. And then obviously life happens. as well. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go have 12 kids. It was more about like, yo, I'm gonna just live life and have fun, and whatever happens.
That's crazy.
That's your future.
Imagine your future children for a second, watching your video and realizing that you are the circumstance of not mature planning, like he said there, like, hey, I could have planned this maturely. It sounds like he's going through some shit, if you ask me. It sounds like the consequences of his decision are catching.
All right, she said we're gonna put our own spin on this. So, MC, I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted.
I was on mute. My fault. Like you said, TR, that's the future. We talked about the attractability matrix a few months back, and when you listen to a lot of these women talk about what they want, they all want the same guy, right?
Mhm.
So it's that 80-20. You got 80% of women fighting over 20% of dudes. So you're sharing.
I feel like it's 90-10.
It may be, who knows? But this is bound to happen when you have those types of dynamics. You're gonna have these guys sitting at the top that's knocking up all the chicks. So you're sharing whether you want to or not. So I hope you're happy with that. But again, my thing about stuff like this is because everybody always says, well, if he can afford it, what's the big deal? If your kids aren't in the same house with you, you're not influencing them the way you think they are. And then you also have to be cognizant of the women that you're breeding with. They're bringing other dudes in if you've moved on. And those dudes are going to be around your kids more than you are. So I don't know how anybody can sit comfortably with that. I mean, I never want my daughter to be influenced by another man outside of me. But some people, that's how they roll and they cool with that. I don't get it, TR.
You know, I think with Nick Cannon, what he's trying to say, I was trying to pull something else up. Nick Cannon, I don't want to hear that, Nick. I don't want to hear anything about trauma. Every time these men, these straight, they're supposed to be these masculine black men, they go on the Breakfast Club and they start acting like bitches. I don't understand it. I don't know if Charlemagne is the one that leads it for them. Just stand on it. You want to bang bad chicks, because from his roster, I ain't seen an ugly one. He wanted to bang bad chicks. He could have easily wore a condom. The women could have been on the pill. They all could have been doing something. They prevented. They could have got Plan B. He just wanted to like bang bad bras. I ain't trying to hear none of this trauma crap though, because it's just an excuse. I don't understand why. I mean, we don't hear about NBA YoungBoy doing this. We don't hear about Future saying this. This is all because of trauma, blah, blah, blah. Again, the only men that I think that need to see a damn therapist are these men that are, blinded by the Democrats, or they voted for Kamala Harris. But for the rest of these men, they just want to bang bad broads. That's it. That's 100% what it is. Has nothing to do with trauma. If that was the case, I would think that you wouldn't have as many kids or you wouldn't have as many baby mamas. Like you just can't be out here talking about, trauma this, trauma that, trying to make everyone like, oh yeah, that makes sense. No, none of that shit makes any sense. His kids are gonna be like, Dad, you couldn't slow down a little bit? Like, why'd you have a new kid every 1 to 2 years? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good point because people underestimate how smart kids are. At some point, kids are going to realize which parent is full of it and which ones aren't, and they're going to start asking questions about decisions. But I know in my instance, and maybe I'm just built different. I don't know. I only have one, and I'm fixed. And the reason why I played it out like that was I saw so many of my friends and family taking L's with their baby mama drama, and I'm like, I don't ever want to go through that. Like I've seen people while they were at work, baby mama number 3 or 4 rolling up to their job, slashing out their tires, trying to get them fired, calling in bomb threats and stuff like that.
You know what's crazy? Nick got him. He kind of got them in control. We ain't heard anyone talk bad about him.
That's a unique situation right there. I mean, that's some next level macking right there. If that's the case, TR. Keeping a low profile, not complaining. How rare is that?
Yep.
I mean, we just even like. I hate to bring this up, but I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Aisha Curry used to be like that. She used to be low profile and Now, she wants her time in the light and she's talking and she's revealing stuff. Women like to talk, man. They all do it at some point. So I just wonder how long until somebody in that circle drops a tail on. But
LeBron James, he's been pretty much flawless, like never had any issues, like real issues. Well, he had that one issue with that cop where they opened fired on a chick and she had a knife or something. I don't know if you remember that story, but he pretty much doxed that guy. Like, and the story went away pretty quickly though, but LeBron was definitely in the wrong. Like, he's had more social media gaffes than like real issues. Once he retires, I hope that LeBron continues having a successful marriage. I don't want anyone, like I said, I don't be trying to like, push for like a divorce. So hopefully LeBron, hopefully Savannah James continues to just stay out of the limelight, not try to like, hey, so you're retired, like that baseball conversation we had where the baseball's wife, where she was like, I feel like a single mom, just putting herself out there, got a new body and everything. Like, I hope Savannah James doesn't do anything like that. She's been playing her part. She's been there since day one. She's been magnificent. She's been a role model for a lot of these women, even though they don't like her or they want to be anything like her. Like, this is the thing that, the Savannah James, they should be praised, not these. I mean, there's some other folks. I mean, shit, we're seeing what's happening with Cardi B.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
And Cardi B, because of her situation, she's now related to Russell Wilson in a roundabout way because of their kids. Because one of those players is friends with Future or something. I don't know. I mean, or not friends, but I don't know. They're cousins or something. But in a roundabout way, they're all connected now because of all the fuck shit they've been doing in that. I mean, starting with Future, but they've been doing all that fuck shit. So if Nick Cannon, like I said, you just like to just do wild shit. And maybe you can't come out here and say it like that though, but don't be trying to tell us because of fucking trauma, because that's just a goddamn cop out. It has nothing to do with trauma. You was tagging all those women. If it was fucking trauma, then why are all the women 8s and above? Seriously. Like,
that's a good question.
They're all 8s and above. It is not like he was like, it don't even matter. No, he made sure his roster was impeccable. So, and whatever happened with him and Mariah Carey, because he didn't have any kids before Mariah Carey, and some weird shit happened with that. So maybe he's talking about that. I don't know. We didn't see the full clip though. But at the end of the day, Nick Cannon is just full of shit, and they got to stop going to Breakfast Club, like, for real. I don't understand why men get on there and they start acting like women. I don't get it.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think Dame Dash mentioned something to the effect of that to Charlamagne when he was on there.
Oh yeah.
Which, man, I wish we could recap that, but they don't really like people talking and resharing their stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's hard to have sympathy for some. If you a man, first of all, ain't no woman pinning you down and making you do something you don't want to do. That's number one. Number two, you got resources, bro. You better figure something out. You got resources and options that a lot of men don't have. So in that regard, I don't particularly have a lot of sympathy for you. I do have a lot of sympathy for those kids though, because the other piece of this, TR, kids have to be parented differently. You can't take the same formula and use it for every single kid. And that being said, and I didn't realize this until, of all people, Kurt Warner wrote a book years ago that I read, because he has a lot of kids, but they're all with his wife. He talks about how important it is to spend one-on-one time with each individual kid, because they like different things, they process things differently, and you have to get to know them differently. And a lot of parents get kind of lazy when it comes to stuff like that. It just takes one approach for all type of thing, and that doesn't work. Like, you have to get to know your kid and know what works in terms of discipline and how to motivate them and how to make them feel loved and appreciated. And a lot of parents just seem to forget that as they get lazy with their parenting.
Yeah. Nope. I 100% understand it. And it probably is a mess, especially around the holidays. But it is what it is. And I don't really feel bad for the kids, though, because to me, it sounds like Nick is probably accessible. I haven't seen anything that Nick is a bad dad. Like I said, all the women have said good things about him. And, the kids, sometimes they'll embarrass you as you get older and start, trying to destroy your legacy, like we've seen with like Brian McKnight. or some other folks that their kids, like even with Umar Johnson, their kids start showing up and like, hey, I want to talk shit on you. I'm like, all right, whatever. Those kids are in really good situations. Nick is getting a bag, multiple bags, and he's taking care of all his family. Most men can't even do that. Most men can't even take care of one family, let alone, two families. And all the women signed up for it, and they're all getting money, because if they weren't getting money, we would be hearing about it. They'd be going through, what's that basketball player that had an issue, who just went through with, oh my God, Channing Tatum, is it? No, that's the actor.
Yeah, I was gonna take your pick on the basketball players there.
No, it was, she's in movies now.
PJ, she does movies now?
Yeah, is it Tiana Taylor?
Oh, and Iman Shumpert, you talking about
Iman Shumpert, there we go. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And she's taking him back to court. So enjoy.
Yeah. And man, as soon as a woman takes you to the courtroom, you cook, bro. Like, if you have to get the police or the judicial system involved in your marriage, it ain't no going back. She about to take you to the cleaners. Seriously.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Yep. All right. We got one more topic here. And it's something that we were a little late to, but we're going to discuss it anyway. It's talking about the HBCU incident. So, all right, let me get this queued up here. And I think, man, we're going to take this clip from the Black Conservative, just to get the content out there. But MC, I know we've seen it. I know you've seen the clip, but I just got a lot of thoughts about this one, though. So I didn't actually, it wasn't until I saw Black Conservative where I saw what happened before it went to shit. So I think it's funny how no one was sharing those clips before what led up to it versus, after.
Yeah.
Group decides to go to Tennessee State University. They call themselves the Freedom Tour. And what they do, they go Fearless Tour. I'm sorry, they go to these college campuses. Now, here's the deal: they showed up at Tennessee State uninvited, did not seek permission, and set up their table. And the whole point. This is what the whole point was. You see right here, DEI should be legal. Deport all illegals now.
All right, MC, I'm gonna stop it right there. Any thoughts on that? Like, did these guys cross the line? Like on those signs specifically?
The signs themselves, no. But they did cross a line, but it wasn't the signs.
Okay. All right. We'll just stop there. I don't think they crossed the line, because one sign definitely is not even a problem for Black people. And then the second sign, for some reason, the Black community, pro-Blacks, have attached DEI to Black people. I know conservatives talk about it as well, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't apply to you, then what are you worried about? It's been proven DEI didn't help Black people. Well, it really didn't help Black men, but for the most part, it did not help Black people in mass. The people that it helped the most were non-Blacks and rainbow folks. That's who helped the most, and women in general as well too. It helped those three people the most, and maybe even handicapped people if you want to throw another one in there. But it went to help those people, and if you didn't check any of those boxes, that's who DEI impacted the most. These kids are in college. Do you guys work at a place where DEI is a problem? Like, when are they where are they running into DEI issues? You there?
I hate disagreeing with Roland Martin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I was about to say, not again. I hate agreeing with Roland Martin because I just hate agreeing with him. But if what he said is true, if they just walked onto the campus, didn't get any kind of permissions or authorizations from the university itself, I'd have a problem with that. But in terms of these stances that they're making, we need to do a better job of debating with people and destroying their points with logic and facts.
So, MC, before you go there, what problem do you have with them going on a publicly funded campus?
You can't just go on people's campus. Like, if I want to hold an event on somebody's campus, I have to get permission from the university.
Right.
Not only that, I have to provide event insurance, and I have to have contingencies for if something goes wrong. That's
So does
any
this look like an
organization.
event? Does this look like the event for them?
Given today's current political climate, I would argue that there is a risk for some potential escalation for something like this.
Sure. Okay.
You know what audience you're talking to. You know that at HBCUs, the majority of the people lean left, and you know that some people are going to be over emotional in their feelings about this. So I think at the very least, you need to get some type of security, to kind of moderate things and keep it cordial and peaceful. It doesn't look like they even have that.
Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, go ahead. I cut you off.
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right.
Then they got upset because students grabbed their signs and tossed them. And then, of course, they were escorted off campus by security. Now, the videos have been going around social media. Let's just roll it, turn the audio up.
All right, MC.
Yeah.
Does this look okay? I'll give you the showing up on campus because they were looking for like some type of reaction, but I do think they were trying to have a conversation as well too from that interaction. And then because initially, maybe we'll get to it, but they were having dialogue with anyone that wanted to show up and have the conversation. It wasn't until certain people showed up and ran these motherfuckers off. So is this appropriate? Is this like an okay thing? Because I'm going somewhere with this, but I want to get your opinion before I drop it.
So here's what I see right now, based on what you're showing me.
Mm-hmm.
If they came
And what
up
you
there,
heard.
if they came up there to just have a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roland Martin said it himself that they snatched some of the signs away, were constantly yelling at them, over talking them, interrupting them. That's not acceptable. Just because somebody says something that you don't like doesn't give you the right to do that.
Yeah.
So no, that's not cool.
Yeah, I agree. Because still in the signs, like it could have been really violent. It could have turned into a whole nother issue. And people don't realize, like, I know these guys weren't trying to like, get into a fight with people, but I'm actually glad they went to an HBCU because they need to be going to more HBCUs because that's where the majority is Black people there. And they need to be trying to have these conversations out loud. And it's crazy that they went there without any security. It's dumb, but they had a purpose why they did it. They're being fearless. I don't know if you can be fearless, while getting stomped out, but hey, that's their thing. Now, this is a publicly funded campus, and I think that on one hand, you do got to do things. There's a certain way to do things, and you got to get permission, all that, and everything. But this should not have been like a big issue. There should not have been a mob of kids running these two white kids out. They're not even kids. They're all adults. These white adults out. These young adults. There should not have been a mob of like Black adults running two white adults off the campus because they pulled up. They got it on their table. Most people would be too scared to even do anything like this. Like a rival school or sorority or fraternity, they would be too scared to do anything like this because they know what could happen. It turns into like, at first it starts with words and then maybe it starts getting a little more physical. And I'm surprised this didn't go a little physical. The police, I don't know why the police were there. They basically did nothing. I mean, they got them removed off campus though, but the police weren't even helpful. So I got a question for all the white kids going to HBCUs. You get out of line, this is what's going to happen to you. This is what HBCUs have shown me, because instead of like having the dialogue and instead of hearing a difference in opinions, if you strike a chord, they're going to beat the shit out of y'all. Like, good. I hope that free scholarship was worth it.
Here's how you can flip this to make your university look good. And this is where y'all got to start peeping game. I believe this was Tennessee State, which is, I like Tennessee State. I've been there a couple times. But what you should have did was you should have sent out your strongest scholars from your school defeat
Yes.
their every argument and point that they were trying
Yep.
to make. Because then that makes them A, look stupid, and then B, it makes your school look marvelous.
Exactly.
Like why are you not realizing this? People like whenever y'all act like this and you don't want to let the other side talk and you overtalk them and you scream at them and you disrespect them and try to run them off, all you're doing is making the other people that you isolated earlier be like, oh, okay, I see why they left and I need to go see what they about now. So you're driving traffic to them. And here's the other piece of this, TR.
Mhm.
That this is what Charlie Kirk did. And these panels and discussions like this were a very critical reason of why they were able to win over some of the younger vote. Because
Yep.
a lot of these people did come to have a conversation and did come to learn. And y'all just messed up the flow of that. So now they know who
Yep.
these guys are. They're going to want to see where they post up next and maybe try to listen to them on YouTube or wherever they're
Yep.
broadcasting.
I hope they continue going to HBCUs because that's where the most detrimental programming is occurring. That's where they need to talk to a lot of these. I mean, you don't even have to be a conservative. You don't even have to like switch over to like, Trump this or just be a Republican. Black people in general have to break away from the Democratic Party. They're using you. They just ran I forgot, I didn't even finish this thought earlier. They just ran Mayor Adams, who is a black mayor, out of the city. He's going to be the first one-term mayor in New York. He is a black mayor. White liberals, white Democrats ran a black mayor out of New York because they felt that he was helping or he was a little too friendly with Trump. He was doing what's in the best. Well, I do believe he was doing what's in his best interest, but also because he had that. Well, when he got out of line, what did Biden do? Biden brought charges. And it's the same thing that black people always talk about. When you get out of line, they find something to put something on you. And so I don't know if he broke the law or not. An investigation never happened, but Biden sent the boys after him to get him in line when he was traveling, and they raided his offices or whatever. So that's one thing, but also it's like they're running a black mayor out of New York. You pro-blacks always talk about being pro-black and make sure you staying on code. Mayor Adams, for the most part, he did stay on code. He did some fuck shit with some of the illegals, doing all those, giving them money and giving them hotel stays. That was a really bad look. He should have been spending money on any illegal immigrant. You keep that money to your citizens that pay taxes. So that's why I'm not saying I'm a fan of Mayor Adams, but he did do some fuck shit there. That said, though, he shouldn't be a one-term mayor. They shouldn't be trying to run in Mama Dami, who technically is black, but he doesn't. I think he tried to identify as black because he was born in somewhere in Africa, but technically, like I said, he is black, but he doesn't identify as black. So, for you pro-blacks out there, take that for what it's worth. But and also got Cuomo, who has admitted to putting hands on hips in the office. So you have a socialist and you got a dude that be, playing grab ass, but you don't want to vote for, Eric Adams, who just, resigned his, and not resigned his position, but ended his campaign for reelection. But anyways, I wanted to tell you this MC. I wanted to have this conversation on here though. You know what this reminded me of? This when them running those two white adults off of the campus. You know what it reminded me of?
No, what's that?
This is gonna piss a lot of people off, but I don't give a fuck. It reminded me of the Little Rock Nine.
Oh God, yeah, you about to piss off all.
No, fuck them.
Oh man,
It reminded me of the Little Rock Nine. Tell me what okay. This is my thought process because I know you're gonna get smoked because of me. But this is my thought process. Now, again, this was like out of high school or whatever. But they're gonna be pissed about that. Fuck them. But anyways, they had to call in a National Guard to let these 9 black students into the school. And you had everyone just yelling at them and, threats of violence. I don't know you tell me the difference is between The Little Rock Nine, the way that it's being presented, and then also what happened on what was it, Tennessee campus?
Yeah, Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. These guys are being ran off the campus. And you can't tell me there was an incident where there was a dude holding a screwdriver. You telling me he wasn't going to use that screwdriver? You're telling me that wasn't going to be a problem? Like when one of the women stole the signs, a little black dude ran up on that dude, was like, I wish you would. He wanted a reason to hit that dude and just beat the shit out of those dudes. Like,
this is the first time, TR, where you said something and you're like, I really got to think about this for a little while. Like,
no, tell me what's different. Tell me what's different other than a time period.
On the surface level, the only thing that's different is the races are reversed. That's the only thing.
Yes.
Just looking outright, but I got to think about that a little bit more.
Yeah, you better be thinking about it, though, because they're being ran off the campus, and they're one move away from getting stomped out. We've seen it happen. If they would have chased, I'm telling you, I'm TR. I don't know why I say that with you. Hold on, let me see if I can find the video where okay, this is the video, just so people know we ain't capping on this.
Well, in their, what they have, like, I grew up in a double wide trailer. He grew up in Boca Raton. So,
all right, they're having a conversation here. It's normal conversation. These are people just saying fuck shit. I wanted to go to the part where when they were standing. I don't know if that's here. I don't know if we're gonna.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's it actually. I don't think I'm gonna find it.
While you're looking, I do want to expand on something you said earlier, because you mentioned that breaking away from the Dems is how we want to fix a lot of this. I would make a more broader statement and say breaking away from. We keep doing the same things over and over again and not seeing results.
Mm-hmm.
We're still having the conversations about the same things, like racism,
right there,
economic equality. Let me just land this real quick.
Yeah.
Economic inequality, being untreated fairly by the police, and all these other things. And I'm not saying it's not true, but what I'm saying is, at what point do you realize, okay, we've been complaining about the same thing for at least 50 years now. Why are we still trying to do the same things to try to fix the problem where it's clear that they're not working? Yep. Sometimes you do got to break away, not just from the deal. Look, sometimes you got to break away from your own damn family. Yeah. If you have a family that has a history of people that aren't doing anything and won't become anything, you might have some PDF files in your family that are being protected. You might have alcoholics. You might have drug addicts. If you don't want to be that, sometimes the best thing for you to do is break away. And it's painful and it sucks and it hurts, but sometimes that is the only way to break the curse.
Yep. So this is a scene I was telling you about. And again,
second term.
A few moments later.
Come on. Yo.
Right there. Right in front of the police officers, right there. They are waiting for something to happen, MC. And if he would have, this dude is ready to go. If he would have chased after that guy or the girl that took the sign, these guys are getting stomped out. They're getting stomped out because they went on a black campus, HBCU, and wanted to have dialogue. And I get it. They invited the conflict. They invited the conversation, which turned into a conflict because they were initially having a conversation. They were initially having a productive dialogue. And then a YN shows up and is ready to knock this dude out.
So the conversation was cordial. They were exchanging ideas. It was respectful.
Yep.
And then it was escalated.
Yep.
It looks by a young woman, it looks like. And then you got a bunch of men that were ready to crash out over the young woman who did something wrong.
And then, and then the cops show up. They're like, this ain't funny. They know where this is going to go next. I don't understand why these cops think this shit is funny. Look at that.
Bring the sign back.
Right there. Why does he have a screwdriver? Why? Why does he have a screwdriver? He's on campus. You ain't fixing anything. Why does he have a screwdriver? I think I have my point on this video. This is what I'm talking about. And that is why I said there are some similarities to the Little Rock Nine, and you can look at some other issues as well too. If you're a majority black campus and you run 2 white people off your campus because you didn't like what they said, fuck, what do you worry about Sundown Town for? Like, you got to worry about sitting here. I mean, I don't understand why white people send their kids to HBCUs. You guys are the biggest fucking idiots, because your kids get out of line. That's exactly what's waiting for them, because they've been conditioned to say, white people have done this, and they need certain types of white people in order to certain types of white, like the white apologists. They want to be around those people that acknowledge their whiteness and acknowledge the the privileges they've been given to their whiteness. White people today have to pay for the sins of their forefathers generations ago for some reason. But we don't hold that shit with black people. It's only white people that have to pay for that, not the Mexicans, not the Asians, not the fucking Eskimos. It's only white people that have to pay for these sins that they had nothing to fucking do with it. So, I commend them for going on the campus and having a conversation. It was dangerous, and I hope that no violence happens. I hope they can. Your option was probably the best option, and it never happened with Charlie Kirk or even with Officer Tatum. They would never send their best teachers or best scholars out there to debate any of these guys, because those scholars know they would get exposed. And then they'd be fucking up the money to indoctrinate you fucking NPCs that they can't think for yourselves, other than if somebody is conservative or someone that has a different opinion from you, then they're the problem. Not that woman who said women should be getting their cheeks clapped and should not worry about a relationship. Not the Democrats that tell you like, hey, Trump is bad, but we need your vote and we're going to do anything for you. Those 2 white kids they're the enemy. And us, because we're black and we have different opinions.
I saw so much failure in manhood. TR, look, whenever I'm dealing with other men,
future baby daddies,
I start with respect, because men operate on respect. Until you give me a reason to not respect you, I'm going to show you respect. What color you are, period, because I know men operate on respect.
Yep.
That being said, if they truly came up there just to have a conversation and things were going smoothly, and that was the exact escalation point, this is wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah.
I just told you how to fix this earlier and how to big up your Tennessee State at the same time. Put your best scholars up there and let them eat through all the arguments. But here's another thing, TR. I saw that screwdriver. And you know what the first thing that popped in my head was? Tennessee is a stand your ground state.
Oh, see.
And that young man had a weapon.
Yep.
So people who think like that and are about that 2A lifestyle and are concerned with their safety, this could have ended way worse than it did, TR.
Yeah.
At some point, we have to do a better job of talking, because talking prevents wars. Talking prevents fighting. Talking prevents injury.
We're seeing that with Trump right now. He's ending wars. Well, not the 2 big wars, but he's ended other wars.
And as men, we got to get back to that. Like, look, can we fix this with words, or does it have to go this far? Because if we can fix this with words, we need to fix it.
It's always got to go this far.
I don't always go up there and kill their arguments. I ask these questions on this podcast so many times that we just get smoked for it. But I will stand on any hill to the end of the day to tell you that nobody has benefited more from DEI than white women and LGBT.
Yep.
Period. And why we are associating ourselves with it so much, I don't know. I've worked for 4 different employees, 2 domestic, 2 foreign, and they all have the same stance when it comes to DEI. Look, all we care about right now are women and non-binaries, bro.
Yep.
We just want your face to represent us on this committee, and that's why I don't rock with it. And I know a lot of people with those same stories. So instead of focusing on this argument, why don't you show me some evidence that says, okay, there are a lot of black folks that benefit from it. Then I'm gonna come back and say, okay, I got my counter arguments to that too, but at least we're talking and hopefully learning something from each other. But this is just unnecessary escalation. Like, this tells me that you can't have a conversation of intellect and logic.
Future leaders that are supposed to lead us and lead the next generation. And I looked at their numbers. They don't have a high graduation rate either, too. they got some bigger problems. They probably got financial aid problems as well too. Not the students, but the school, because generally that's the fuck shit that continues to happen at a lot of HBCUs. Somebody starts messing with the money, and then they got to figure out, we got to get a new, a dean of students in this place. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, MC. But there's a lot of questions to be asked, and we're gonna get a lot of smoke on this one because the pro-blacks will not be happy. So
they won't, but I wish I would just think for a minute. We have a lot of brilliant people in our community, but we don't give them a chance to shine in situations like this.
Nope.
I know a 21-year-old young man right now who can articulate his point way better than I ever could. Black dude, black kid from Atlanta, living right here in the state that I live in Arizona, and he's one of the best articulators I've ever met. He would have went up there and had a good conversation, I guarantee you. And hopefully they both would have learned something from each other.
yeah.
All y'all are doing right now is escalating stuff that don't need to be escalated, and it's not going to end well. It never does.
Yeah. So, all right, we are going to end it there. MC, you want to say any final words?
Look, man, we back at it. We're going to keep cooking. Love us and hate us. We ain't going nowhere.
Back. All right. Go Birds.
Man, this dude.